Hello everyone, and welcome for another spooky episode of Donut Like, Donut Read. I'm Julius, and with me today I have Adam.
At your service.
And Clemens.
Hello there.
And I guess this is a bit of a special episode, because today we are reading a creepypasta that I translated from German. The reason for that is that there was an English creepypasta, and apparently it was on some kind of obscure forum, and it got picked up by a German YouTuber, and he translated it into German and made a video reading it out. It's kind of bad, and he later went on to make fun of it. It became kind of a meme. But yeah, the English original that he translated got deleted, while his translation got semi-popular in Germany. And I decided to translate it back into English, giving it back to, I guess the language that originally spawned it.
Return to sender.
Yeah.
And now you can't say that the LDR doesn't go through deep processes to bring your stuff.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, this is something you won't find anyone else riffing on.
I'm pretty excited. I haven't heard of this one before. Like you guys said, it's not really in the English side of the internet. Like you guys have heard of Pokemon Black version, right? The one about they go around killing all the enemy Pokemon pretty much, and they get killed in the end. That's like the kind of stuff we normally have over here. I don't know if that's over. You guys have heard that in German or not?
I mean, usually big English creepypastas get translated and put on. There's like a German creepypasta wiki.
Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, I think this even might have some parallels to Pokemon Black. We'll see.
Okay, cool.
So this is called Demon the Black Pikachu. I guess I'll just start off. Before I begin, I have to stress that this is not another one of those creepy stories. Because it really happened.
Yeah.
Sure, bud.
I thought the point of creepypasta is to never say that part out loud, and it's assumed that it's real, and deep down we know it's not. No, the other stories are not real, but mine is. That's the dick move.
It's like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to acknowledge that pro wrestling is scripted.
Yeah. And then say, but my matches are real. I once did an internship at a studio where the old Pokemon games were being developed. When one of the developers offered me an old Game Boy cartridge. Also, I'm sorry if there's any weird phrasing or errors in this. There might be. So,
We'll make do.
If that's so, that's on me. He told me that he wanted to get rid of it, because it was supposedly haunted, and that he had bought it at a state fair. The guy selling the game had supposedly found it inside of a dumpster, alongside a note that stated, "This game must never be played." He had played it regardlessly and was haunted by frequent nightmares ever since.
Wait, why was somebody working for, they were in the studio, They were in the studio where the old Pokemon games were developed, and then someone brought an outside game into it and said, "Here, buddy, have this."
Yeah.
It just seems like really
It's kind of weird setting up that plot device when the game originates from just a fair or a flea market.
Yeah. That is pretty much how these go. Everyone always finds an old VCR tape that has the episode of My Little Pony where Pinkie Pie murders somebody. So
also, it's kind of weird. If I had this this allegedly haunted Game Boy cartridge, which was giving me nightmares and shit, and I wanted to get rid of it, and thus trying to sell it on like a shady flea market, I don't think I would tell the customers that it's haunted and gave me nightmares.
You know what? I actually disagree with you there. I think that probably would interest some people, though. I think some people are like, "Oh, I gotta see this." They like something they won't believe it, but they want to see what the deal is. I don't know.
Maybe that was the selling point.
Like, if someone wanted to sell me a haunted cartridge of Pokemon Red, I would buy it in a heartbeat just to see what the big deal is. I guess that's probably why I'm probably not going to live that much longer. I'm probably going to buy some stupid game and get cursed.
Fair enough. After reciting that story, the developer told me that he too had disregarded the warning and now wants to get rid of the cartridge as soon as possible.
Why is he giving it away and not, like, throwing it into Mordor or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Just throw it away.
He just wants to make everyone else suffer with him.
I was fascinated by the story and naively accepted his gift. I dug up my old Game Boy from under my bed, put the cartridge in and started the game. After a few minutes of playing the game, I started to notice weird things about it. You could only choose one Pokemon in the beginning. A red-eyed black Pikachu named Demon. Subtle.
Edgy.
For some weird reason, I couldn't give him another nickname. But since Demon was already a pretty sick name, I decided to roll with it. I mean, because, of course, it's basically like a shiny. But the opposite.
Yeah. Also, he had no choice but to roll with it.
Free of charge, you don't have to work for it.
He couldn't change the name anyway. It wouldn't let him.
Yeah. After playing the typical beginning of every Pokemon game, I decided to go catch some new Pokemon for my team. Shortly after, I caught my very first Pokemon, a Pidgey, which I specifically selected so that I could have it learn flying. I hope that's what it's called in English later on.
It's just called flying.
And I gave
English.
it. Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant with translation errors.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
That's okay.
And I was too lazy to research. And I gave it the name Jimmy. I now started to use Jimmy more often in fights than Demon. After playing only with Jimmy for 2 hours, a message popped up. Demon wants affection. But I ignored the message and kept on playing as if nothing had happened.
I have to interrupt here. His Game Boy has been discarded under the bed for a long time, I assume, if it's under the bed. How has it still battery for 2 hours? Sorry, sir, I don't believe you.
Also, who the hell uses a Pidgey for 2 hours? Like... I like Pidgey well enough as I like any Pokemon. But...
he wants it to learn fly.
I guess.
He just wants to have. I guess that's just he's one of those guys who wants to not evolve his Pokemon, but give them ridiculously high levels.
Oh yeah, I mean I've done that before, so.
So it's like that, probably, maybe.
I one time beat Pokemon Gold version with only a Spinarak just because. So.
A few hours later, I was walking through Viridian City. Another message popped up. Demon wants affection. Jimmy has left the team. I was taken aback and opened up the menu. Jimmy indeed was gone from my team. I closed the menu and decided to go catch another Pidgey. Suddenly, the typical evolution sequence started up, but instead of a Pokemon evolving, another message appeared. Do you love me now? In the background stood the black Pikachu, with little pieces of Jimmy glued to his body, feathers on his head and wings on the back.
Yeah. I'm totally sure this happened, like the author says. I'm totally sure that people who designed this game went to all the details for bloody Pikachu with Jimmy the Pidgey in his mouth.
Well, it's not in his mouth. He literally taped the body parts of Pidgey onto his body.
That's even worse. Oh.
Shivers went down my spine, but I kept on playing, thinking, it's just a game. What could possibly happen? To appease Demon, I started using only him in the upcoming fights. This had a strange effect on the game. Demon completely switched from electric-type attacks to completely new attacks of a type I had never heard before. Darkness!
This must be before Gen 2 then. These
attacks one-shotted every Pokemon they were used on. After being defeated, the opponent's Pokemon didn't faint as they usually do, but instead died. See, I told you there were parallels to Pokemon Black.
They're kind of, yeah, I can see it now, yeah.
Well, I guess that would be a pretty common trope, having your Pokemon die instead of fainting.
Well, they're just playing a Nuzlocke, you know, where if your Pokemon faints in Nuzlocke, they die, so...
Furthermore, after beating another trainer, the trainer would also die and vanish.
Yeah, that's very much Pokemon Black, right there.
After a few battles, I went on my computer to search for similar occurrences. As it turned out, there was a handful of people who had also come in contact with this strange cartridge. All of them described the same experiences. The cartridge had made its way through the whole country, going from person to person. Every former owner had either sold it to another person or threw it in the trash, where it was then found and picked up by someone else. On some message boards, it was even claimed that everyone who came in contact with the cartridge had committed suicide after giving it away.
Why not just smash it with a hammer? Like, if it's so evil and you don't want anyone else to touch it.
I went back to my Game Boy and tried to think of a way to get rid of the cartridge. I had to destroy the game for good, so that no one could ever play it again. I went to the living room and threw the cartridge into the fireplace. Now that I had made sure the cartridge was destroyed, I got out my copy of Pokemon Yellow to get my mind off the haunted cartridge. Of course, naturally. I booted up the game and a message appeared. Demon has escaped. I started to frantically look around me, when suddenly, a loud beeping noise came out of my Game Boy. I jumped, then focused on the screen again. Don't turn around. I stared at the screen, frozen with fear. Then I heard a faint, high-pitched voice behind me. Do you love me now? The end.
The fuck just happened?
Demon the Black Pikachu came into the real world.
I guess he escaped once the cartridge was destroyed. So I suppose we're all doomed.
He's on the loose.
That was something.
You know, if you go under like readings of this creepypasta, most of the comments are like, "Oh, poor Pikachu, he just wanted to be loved. I want my own Black Pikachu."
Yeah, if you want to be loved, it gives you permission to murder some bird so that you're paid attention to.
Well, it's Yandere Pikachu.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can see why that does look a lot like Pokemon Black in the way that some of the story elements. But yeah. Okay.
Well, there you have it. So, let this be a cautionary tale. Don't leave your Pokemon, or they'll become jealous.
Yeah. And don't
They'll
buy any
go to the
haunted.
real world and kill you.
Don't buy any haunted cartridges at the state fair, even if it's tempting, because I guess this is the sort of shit that happens if you do.
Well, normally we would say don't arrest the author, but we don't know who the original author was, so don't arrest the translator. Don't arrest me, please.
Don't harass anyone
Thank
who
you.
is selling cartridges at the fair, because they might just be cartridges. They might not be cursed.
Don't go around harassing random black Pikachus just because demon's evil.
Yeah, that would be racist if you did.
Yeah. Well, I guess that concludes it for today. We have a public Discord. You can send us requests there. We also have a Tumblr, which we rarely use, and a Twitter, I think. Links will be provided in the description. And remember, if you do not like, then do not read.
Thanks
Later.
for watching.
Bye.